Parenting Paused here with Leslie Potter. And this week, we are going to tap into regret. Now, I don't know about you, but many times in my life when I move into a state of regret or thinking regret, what I found was that this was a judgment on myself. Right? And I want you to look at that for yourself. So if you feel regret, that is, again, as we talk about in Pure Joy, a self-aggression. And you're telling yourself that what you did, you have this perception that what you did didn't bring you maybe what you thought it was going to bring you. And you have a perception that you wished you did something or you wish that you hadn't done something. And you can see how the mind gets very caught in a one-sided view or perception. Now, if we live in the laws of the universe, there's always that set of opposites, then we can start to see there are benefits and drawbacks to every action that we take. And so many parents I talk to feel some level of regret because they look back or they'll see their child as a certain way and then they will have a perception that, oh, if I had been more available or if I had been, saw that thing at the time, there would have been more benefits. And now I regret, I am judging myself for not knowing what I didn't know at the time. Yes? So anytime that we have regret, I want you to think about it. It's like, anytime we have those shoulds, I should have done something different, or I should do something now. That is that little person that we talk about looking over your shoulder and judging you. But then it turns into a self-judgment. Because actually, when we live from our inner calling, we're going to live from our highest values. We're going to do what we do, and there's going to be benefits and drawbacks to that, right? But if we believe that we should live in others' values and we compare ourselves, especially in our parenting, if we compare our parenting because of the way our children are to other people, I hear so often people say, well, their kid is really successful and they're really good and they do so-and-so and my kid doesn't. And so then we start picking at ourselves. Yes, this form of judgment, we start picking at ourselves. Maybe if I had done this, maybe if I'd seen that earlier, maybe, right? So to work with regret, the first thing you're going to do this week is ask yourself, what am I regretting? Right? Like the actual thing. Is there something that you feel like you did too much of? Or is there something that you feel that you didn't do enough of? And do this with your children. And if you get on that one, often I'll hear people regret the time lost with their kids or the time that they didn't spend with their kids. And maybe you have that one, but we'll just play with that one. Once you get that, then you want to ask yourself, well, what did you expect it to do if you had spent time with your child? Are you now telling yourself that you expect that would have made them different, that they would have been more stable, that they would have been whatever, right? Just check this out, right? And we say, then we ask ourselves, well, what should I have done? I should have spent more time with my kids. I should have worked less. I should have, not been so focused on money. I should have been more focused on family. You can see we start building this up, but it's because we're perceiving the external did not turn out the way that we think it should in our fantasy. So once you find out what that is, what you want to do is to ask yourself, well, what would have been the drawbacks of me doing what I think I should have done? What would have been those drawbacks? And this is hard. People always say to me, and I say to myself when I do this, I don't know. And there weren't any drawbacks. Can't be true. Because perception takes us to one side and everything that we do in our life is balanced, right? Internally, there's going to be benefits and drawbacks. There's going to be positive and negatives. But if we're feeling regret, we can be pretty sure that we're thinking there would have been more positives to me doing something that I didn't do. And we're not looking at the drawbacks of what would have happened maybe if I had spent more time with my children. Maybe I would have engulfed them. Maybe I would have not made money for my family and we would have, ended up in poverty. The drawback would have been that I might have been overly focused on my children and not done my internal work, whatever it is. So you're just going to find one of those drawbacks. And when you do, then you just keep tracking those that they equal the benefit because you did what you did. And this is where we start to release regret, because regret is that judgment on the self. It is a fantasy that it would have been better if you had done it another way. And you can see how then you won't ever be able to show up in the neutrality of the present to find out the benefits of how it is that you were exactly the way you were. All right, lovies, have a great week this week, and we'll see you next week on Parenting Paused. Thank you for listening to this episode of Parenting Paused. If you enjoyed the episode, do me a favor and share it with your mama friends. You can also leave a review wherever you listen, which will support getting the Pure Joy message out. Come on over to the Pure Joy Parenting Practice Facebook page or join me on Instagram to hear more. And don't forget to download your free copy of the Safe Seat course on the Pure Joy website. And while there, check out the offerings page to go deeper in the Pure Joy work.